So, Boris, today these two worlds came together, esports and the traditional sports. How far apart are they, or how close are they now after this day?
Yeah, I think today after the discussion, the panel and the roundtables, for me it's clear that there are lots of similarities, but also some points or some local aspects. Like for instance, we saw with Britain, it's going to be more a game than a sport. But in all aspects, we saw with the value from IOC, like the value of friendship, trying to reach for excellence. I think this is values that we all share. And I'm confident we can also share these values with the young esports players. And for me, I think we came closer, to be honest.
So it was just like a day of a lot of talking. Do you think there are actions going to happen right now? So is there like e-Olympics or something like this in sight, or?
No, I think the closing remarks from the president of IOC were that now we have to work. We have the first discussion, we talk to each other, and this was the goal of the forum, not much more than just to learn about our respective worlds. And now what's planned, what he said is that there are going to be more workshop to define the future in a closer groups. And this is what needs to be done. We need to work on it. It's not going to happen by itself. But my personal stake on that is that I think there is a way to have, in terms of pure Olympics, there is a way to have on one hand, to allow the Olympics to reach out to the younger generation, maybe with sports simulation Olympics, and on the other hand, to have something very specific to the new, less common esports title like League of Legends, Dota, and the likes, and have something like a side event for now. And I think we'll see in the future, but it's really early to speak about that.
But I still feel like that the IOC would profit more from the world of esports than on the other side. I mean, these are like, I should say, like prerogative a little bit. The old guys wanted to have like the youth in the boat to get the viewership, the numbers of viewers up and stuff like that. So, is it really necessary to work together?
I think as an esports fan and someone who's been playing all my life, since I was like maybe 5, we have to be here to find a consensus. So part of it is we are in a very good position to help IOC. So this is, as you said, we help them, and the best way for me to do that is to have something close to sports, like simulation games, FIFA, Gran Turismo, whatever. And this promotes the sport, but also encourages players or young audiences to also go to the stadium, go play sports. But on the and I think this part is, as you said, is a win more like us helping IOC. But on the other hand, the values that was shared by Pierre de Coubertin when he created the Olympic, like he made the Olympic movement back in the 18th and 19th century, is the values that we also have. We want our young esports player to have. The value of friendship, of peace, collaboration are great values for the new generation. And for that, I think we have a lot to learn based on the Olympic movement, and they can help us with their expertise and the knowledge of building something that works. Basically,
What would be the best way that these two worlds could connect together now even more? I mean, do you have kind of an imagination how this work or should be?
Well, I think in what can happen in the short run is what is already being discussed about having side events to discover games, side events to the Olympic youth competition, Olympic youth that is gonna be in Lausanne. I think such events can be the first step to meet the two, to have a first collaboration, a first bridge between the two worlds, and then from there, it needs to be defined in a way that works. For instance, one of the value of Olympics is and it was what was discussed in one of the panel, is you have to prove the sustainability of your sport or esport, and this is a big challenge because we have seen esports become popular and suddenly disappear, and this is the tricky part. And right now, I don't exactly know how to structure it. I think the work of federation to make esports last in the long term is one of the of the possibilities, but I'm not sure it's the only one. And this is gonna take a lot more work, but I think today raised a lot of questions, and now there is a lot of thinking to find the answers.
What is the biggest question you have after today?
It's exactly what you just asked before, is how do we integrate everything together? And also, is it, as you also said, is it worth it or needed for esports to be part of the Olympic? But we were discussing with friends from colleagues from the federation that also something simple is not necessarily to be part of the game, of the Olympic Games, but also in the first step is also to be recognized by the National Olympic Committee, brings not value but gives legitimacy to esports. And this doesn't necessarily need us to be part of the Olympics, Games and such things.
So in the end, after today, we're one step further. Esports developed one step even more.
Yeah, I think what most people say, the publishers, is we have, and what was said in the conclusion and the final remarks, is we have common values, the passion, the competition, wanting to have a sane environment also for the kids is something we all share and all want. It's hard to be against that. So for me, I think we went a step further. This esports forum was something I would not have ever expected something like this to happen even here. Being from Switzerland, for me, this is a very special location to be in the Olympic Museum. And I think this is going to open a lot of doors for esports, generally speaking.
Esports.ch Powered by UPC.